Yes, my wife boy. And as we all unfortunately know, Arsenal did miss out on Mykhaylo Mudryk to Chelsea this transfer window. And with about a week and a half to 2 weeks left, we need to target other attacking options. Missing out on that signing, it was bad because he was our number one target, but it does show us two things. One, Arsenal are in the market for attacker, and two, we've got 95 million euros to play around with. So today I'm discussing 5 potential options I believe Arsenal could sign in that left wing / right wing position. Let's get into it. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below who you would like to see Arsenal sign. And if you're new around and you love Arsenal related videos, make sure you subscribe on my road to 2,000 subscribers. So I'm going to start with the player that I really want Arsenal to sign, a top talent, Rafael Leao. This man comes from AC Milan, Portuguese international, and he, let's be honest, is the closest probably to Mudryk in terms of similar play style and quality, Champions League type quality Arsenal could bring in. This isn't the same Arsenal team from a year ago or 2 years ago where we need to sign transition players and can't attract the top European talent. We are 8 points clear in the title race right now. We need to get these top players in. We can't sign these project players anymore. We need to sign top talent that can take us over the edge and help us win this Premier League title. We saw what happened last window where we signed absolutely no one in January. We missed out on Kulusevski, Bentancur, Bruno Guimaraes, for example. They all went to rival S clubs and they've completely flown on and kicked into another gear. If we go on to win this Premier League title in May, having signed someone in January like the likes of Rafael Leao, who's a top talent from AC Milan, we could all look back and say, that was the signing that made it happen. Say Martinelli, God forbid, gets injured later in the season. We have someone that can replace him in Rafael Leao, or take, when I say replace him, is in like, can take over the bulk of the fixtures rather than having no one that can come in, or Smith Rowe here and there. So Rafael Leao, for me, is a top talent, and he's probably the best one I'm going to name in terms of quality right now. Problem is, he's looking to sign a new contract with AC Milan. They're actually talking to him right now to extend his current contract, which ends in 2024. He's going to demand a lot of wages. We know that AC Milan, Italian clubs in general, they're hard negotiators. They won't want to part with their asset, especially in January, especially given they want to make a run in this Champions League, given they have already made it to the knockout rounds. So it will be a tough transfer. But if Arsenal got 95 million euros to play with, if we're serious about trying to win this Premier League title, we would make something like that happen, because he would be that top signing that would get fans interested and really excited. Player number 2 I'm going to talk about is Raphinha. We know Arsenal were heavily linked with him and actually negotiated to sign him from Leeds in the summer. Chelsea tried to hijack it like Mudryk, but not only did they try and hijack it, they actually took him away from Arsenal, and the player ended up at his club he wanted to go to. He was always destined to go to, it seemed, Barcelona. What's gone wrong? Well, in about 6 months or so time from there to now, Raphinha, it seems Arsenal back on the block for him, but he does want to stay at Barcelona, and that is a problem. He has played in the Premier League before previously. I'm be honest, I wasn't a massive fan of Raphinha. I think he was overhyped by our fan base when we went to sign him. He hasn't been amazing at Barcelona, and in the World Cup, starting at right wing for Brazil, I didn't think he played amazing, but he would still be a player that excites Arsenal, and he'd be a right winger rather than a left winger, which I do actually believe we need more than a left winger. We've got Smith Rowe, who obviously isn't an out-and-out winger, but can provide cover at that left wing position. Whereas at right wing, our cover is Reece Nelson, who's currently injured right now, and even he could be more of a left winger, and Marquinhos, who is definitely not ready to start Premier League games for Arsenal. So a right wing, I guess technically could be more of an option, more of a enticing option for Arsenal. And Raphinha, we know Arsenal have got interest in him before. We know we're a club that's not like Chelsea and just panic buys, sees a player on the market and goes, right, we want him. We're someone that scouts a player for a while, and we remain and retain interest in players for a while. Raphinha is one of those players that we have retained interest in for a long time now, and it is someone we could definitely look to purchase. Although the player is happy at Barcelona, and fees would be around 85 to 100 million, which for me is an overpay and therefore not one of my favourites to purchase. Player number 3 that Arsenal have discussed and actually has been very heavy in the papers today was Moussa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen. Left winger, looked really good last season and has continued his form to this season as well from the Bundesliga. 23 years young, so not an old player by any means, can come in and do a job for Arsenal. He'd definitely, I think, be a spark plug off that bench to bring on in games against Newcastle, for example, where we were struggling to find a winner. This is something that Arsenal have explored. We know we're looking for attacking options given Mudryk transfer fell through. He seems someone that could be like an Arsenal type player, let's be honest. He's not going to cost a lot of money, as much as Mudryk, I don't think. 50 million is his reported price tag, although it probably could go to 60, 70. But my problem is the Bundesliga. I'd go as far as saying Bundesliga is probably more of a risk than Liga 1, for example. I do think it's a little bit of a farmers league. I don't want to say it too loudly, but Moussa Diaby doing it in the Bundesliga, I think is a massive ask to translate it to the Premier League, for example. You only have to look at Jadon Sancho, who at the time, I know it's unpopular, but at the time when United signed him, I said he's very overrated. Moussa Diaby coming from the same league. We know what happened to Sancho at United. Could something similar happen at Arsenal? It's a hell of a lot of money to try and target someone like that. I'm not too sure, but it has been floating around. Of course, if Arsenal do sign him, I'd 100% back him. And I do think he's a decent enough footballer, but it is a risky purchase. Player number 4 I'm going to discuss, and this is someone I'd actually really want Arsenal to sign, but I'm not sure whether he's available on the market to purchase, and that is Mitoma from Brighton. This man has stolen the headlines this season. I remember I watched him the first game. I think he made his debut actually, or I don't know whether, but it was definitely one of his breakout games. It was when he came off the bench for Brighton against Tottenham Hotspur and lit up that game. I know Brighton ended up losing that match, but just when I saw him come on the pitch, I was like, hold on a minute, this kid's got something about him. Taking on players one-on-one. I actually recently found out that he actually went to university to study one-on-one dribbling. I didn't even know there was a course for that or something, but I can see it. I've watched his compilations. I've watched Brighton in the Premier League this season. They've been really exciting to watch, and he epitomizes that. He takes on players. We know he's an Arteta-esque player. He likes his wingers taking on players in one-on-one fashion, having chalk on their boots, wide on the touchline, and negotiating one-on-ones with defenders. And Mitoma would be exactly that. He's a tricky player. He's a player that's playing that Japan system, and we know that means he's very adept at playing as part of a team. He's someone that's going to track back and help out, given that he has spent time at left wing back, similar to how Saka's played, and how has that helped Saka so much in terms of being able to be defensively astute as well as great going forward. I honestly think Mitoma is an Arsenal player ready and waiting. The only problem is Brighton only recently acquired him. He's only recently made a breakthrough. Are they going to sell him so early? And the other problem is, could it be like the Cucurella deal, where he had an amazing first season for Brighton, Man City were looking at him, Chelsea swooped in and stole the signing, and he's kind of had a really poor season for Chelsea, Cucurella, and they've actually seemed to replace him with Lewis Hall, one of their academy prospects, to really start games for them. The 5th player I'm going to look at, actually also from Brighton, is Leandro Trossard. 28 years old, so one of the older ones on this list. He seems like he's not signing a contract extension. He will be walking for free in summer. Tottenham have remained in negotiations. Arsenal as well. He's actually been offered to Arsenal apparently by his agent. Do we make this happen? For me, at 28, he's not that answer signing. I feel like Mudryk would have been that statement signing for years to come. If we get Trossard, he can't be the only attacker. I don't mind us signing an attacker and Trossard, although I think that's counterintuitive signing too, because I'd rather just sign one main attacker. He would be one of the cheap options on the list given his contract situation, and he is Premier League proven, scoring big goals against us, for example. He scored against us last season, scored against Liverpool this season, at Anfield a couple times. He's a brilliant player, Leandro Trossard. I have no doubt about it. It's just his age, and I also think he isn't going to be as exciting, and he can't be developed as much as other talents like Mitoma, Diaby, for example, and Rafael Leao even. But that's overall my thoughts on 5 potential players that could come to Arsenal. If I had to choose the one I'd want the most, it's definitely Mitoma, and second, Rafael Leao. I think those two would be brilliant signings for Arsenal, and I'd love to see us get him. And to be honest, look, I'm a man that always believes everything happens for a reason. We missed out on Mykhaylo Mudryk. It was someone we were targeting for a long, long time. Chelsea swooped in and stole him from us. It is what it is. We will go on and we'll go and sign another player. It's happened to us in the past with Vlahovic, for example. We went on to sign Jesus. It happened with Lisandro Martinez. We went on to sign Zinchenko. It is what it is. I hopefully believe Arsenal will recover from this and sign another top talent. Let me know who you would like Arsenal to sign in the comment section down below. I'd really love to hear it. If you're new around and you love Arsenal related vids, make sure you subscribe my road to 2000. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed this video. I've been Football and I hope to see you all in my next video.